How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Queen's Blood is the new card game in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I wanted to make a quick video that goes over the basics and how to play the game to teach those people that might not fully understand it, or they're just checking it out for the first time. It's actually way more simple than it works. If you're used to a game like Gwent, or you played any other card game, you might be able to pick this up pretty easily. Let's go over the real quick basics. So you're looking at the board. This is the start of the match. You see these pawns on the board. Each player has 3 in a row. You have the numbers next to them. Basically, the goal of the game is to have my numbers on each row be more than the other. And that's it. It's that simple. So we got the little pawns. That means you can only put a card that costs 1 pawn. If you look at the top right of each one, or top left of each one of these cards, you can see they all cost 1 pawn. So we'll put one down. And as you see on the center of the card, it shows a white square and then 4 yellow squares. Now, the white squares where the card will land, and the 4 yellow squares are where pawns will be created when it lands. That's very important. Now you can see I turned the top and the bottom. They now have 2 pawns, and I have a pawn reaching forward. The enemy cannot put cards on your pawn. They can only do the same thing. So you can only place cards where you have pawns. So it can be very strategic. You can cut the enemy off by moving your pawns up and then out and all these things. So it can get a little... there's a lot of strategy in there, all about denying board space and everything. But we're just going over the basics. So now they put a cactus up there. Now what I could do is, I could play for the middle again. I'll put another one down, because this guy's only a 1 cost. And now you can see I have all these spaces to put cards. I even have a spot for 2 and 2 over there, which that could be very useful. Now, the enemy's probably going to win the top row. One thing you can do is just play for 2 rows, don't play for 3. So I'm going to take my Alpha Dunk here, and I'm actually going to put him on the bottom. He's a 4 points. As you can see, the top right of the card is how many points they will give you when they're placed on the board. So top left, pawn cost, top right, power of the card. And then in the middle, that's what the card does. And some of them will have effects. If you hover over them, it'll tell you it has an effect or not. So we put the Alpha Dunk down, so now we got 4 down there. Notice I didn't generate any pawns, because the way his card goes, the pawns generate on the other way. So we didn't get any pawns, which could be bad. Now, if you notice, like the Flan, if we put him down, see, he's going to generate pawns behind him, so then he'll create double pawns there for us to use. But we don't really have any double pawn cards, so that's not necessarily something I want to go for. The Crystalline Crab raised the power of allied cards on affected tiles. Now, when a card has an effect and they have the red square, or orange, whatever you want to call it, that is the card that is affected by that ability. So by placing the Crystalline Crab, we're actually going to boost our card that's above it. Now it's going to have 3 power, and we're going to, push a pawn forward and a pawn to the left. So we'll place him. Now, as you can see, so far so good. We're winning 2 lanes. Now we're losing a lane, and now we're in trouble because they put a 4 cost and a 2 cost, or a 4 power and a 2 power. We're pretty much out of the bottom lane now, and that is not good. But the basic idea is that you just put your pawns down. I've probably messed up, honestly, but I just wanted to show people how the game works. We actually might be able to win the top, which is still a good thing. But I don't want to make this video too long, so I don't think I'm going to play the whole hand out. But overall, that's how it works. It's pretty straightforward and simple. You just got to have more power on the board than the opponent, and in order to place cards, you need the pawns down. And it's all about board control and manipulating it and doing things like that. Like I said, I wanted this video to be quick, and this is pretty quick, and if I keep talking and play the whole thing, it's going to go on longer. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know down below. But it really is a fun game, and it really isn't that complicated. And if you need help, let me know. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later guys. Peace out. Have a good one.